We lost. True indeed. We lost. Lord knows we lost. I'm about to say something to make you not like me. You might catch feelings and you might want to fight me, but I don't really care, I'ma say it anyway. Why most comedic guys seem soft and gay. I'm not saying all, but a large amount. Have you ever heard the words that come out of their mouth? Yeah, they cuss like a sailor, but they follow my eye. They carry oaks and wear makeup and thinking it's hot. I think they need to stop, this is a new era. I wonder if the pharaohs of a war mascara. It probably was a death mask misunderstood. Don't let them D-boys catch them up in the hood. Why NOI? Stop patrolling the block. We get shot by the cops and we calling the cops. Come on, y'all was on another level. The black man was God, the white man the devil. Now the white man, or better yet the European, and the Mars and the bean pies are sold by Koreans. I'm talking what I'm seeing, I'm just a reporter. How you call a woman to be and you got a daughter. Talking about the Hebrews, the demonized women, and choose Esau over brothers and Kemet. Probably timid, soft, and scared to fight. Yelling and wearing spikes, trying to fake me out right. But you can't fool me, cause you make a little noise. Cause deep inside, y'all some scared little boys. If you really wanna ride, let's take it to the beast. Get revenge for our people killed by the police. Yeah, right. Y'all ain't busting the grape. It appears that you fear and you in love with hate. Correct me if I'm wrong, we might all don't get along. European psychology got us all gone. You think we divided? Cause I wear fez and she wear oak and he wear dreads. But the vision don't start there, it starts in the head. I'm here to wake you up and get you out of the bed. We lost. To get you out the bed. I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. The vision don't start there, it starts in the head. I'm here to spread. I be that more you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more you gon' remember. Nap town. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA. I be that more you gon' remember. New York. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. Peace and love, family. Welcome to another edition of Morse World TV. I'm your host, Brother Tahaka Bay. Family, I'm going to get straight to it, family. I got to ask you a question. Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop playing. Let's keep it a buck. Do you really think that, let's just start with the super fakeum of them all. Do you really think that Grandmaster Jay, head of NFAC, and all the affiliates is going to make a dent in this police killing that's going on? Do you really think that? Do you really think that Crystal Muhammad and her 5 or 6 people are going to make a dent in this killing that's happening every day now? It's a new story every single day. Every single day. Let me ask you a question, family. Come on. This real talk now. We ain't going to play with this no more. You see, many people want to have YouTube channels. Many people want to be bloggers or vloggers or whatever you want to call it. But nobody want to talk about the real issues. And the real issues, I was watching some other channels today in my travels, and they was talking about all of this scholarship stuff, all of this, they was going on and on about this book, about that book, about this book. And I'm saying to myself, what is all that going to do for us right now as, you know, we ain't got nothing to show for us as a people. Let's keep it a buck. We ain't got nothing to show for us as a people, man. We got nothing to show for us as a people. And it's like we happy with it. This is crazy. But the Tonight Show is really about, I'm going to show you why they kill, quote unquote, black people. And I got black people in quotes. And this is going to offend some people tonight. This is going to offend some people tonight. I'm telling you, this show is going to offend some people tonight because I'm going to break down some science that's really not science. It's right before your face. And I'm going to prove to you why they kill black people, quote unquote. Why? Anybody ever ask themselves that question? Anybody ever ask that question? Why do we seem to be at the end of the barrel and felt by the bullet, the end of the judge's gavel and felt by prison system, the end of substance abuse, the end? Why? It's all good. Ask a question, but just make sure that it's a real question. Somebody said, I like to ask a question. You know what I mean? I'm not going to block you if you ask a decent, a real question, a logical question. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to block you if you ask a logical question. But if you ask an antagonizing question, I'm going to give you about 3 antagonizing questions and then you out of here. But just ask a real logical question. Like, so what are you doing? That's a logical question. I can accept that. I can accept critique. Like, what are you doing, Tahaka Bay? What are you doing? That's a logical question. You know what I mean? It's a reasonable question. What are you doing, Tahaka Bay? I hear you hooping and hollering. I hear you talking, but what are you doing? In fact, we are actually organizing to address these issues behind the scenes, off camera, and many people that is a part of Moorish Science or Moorish World TV or friends of Moorish World TV, you already in the know what's going on. We're organizing to address these things head on and in a practical sense with an end game. What's Grandmaster J end game? Go to, remember he said he's going to go to Africa? Give us Texas. Remember that? Give us Texas. That's the end game. You can't even produce toilet paper for yourself. You can't even produce something to wipe doo-doo from your butt. You can't even produce water to run from some water stream or water spring or I don't know, to run to your house. You can't even run water out of your house after you take a poop. Come on, man. Let's start to deal with reality, man. Let's start to deal with reality. Shot the Sherrod. Say yuck. But let's keep it a buck, though. Let's keep it a buck, though. Jamal Curry say buy black. That ain't gonna fix nothing. What is buy black? What is buy black? Okay, I buy black because somebody is black and they take that money and go and reinvest it in the dope game and circulate it to put poison in the community. Buying black is not the answer all the time. I believe that we can buy consciously with our people, but just because somebody look like you, they be taking your money and holding it up to their ear like a rapper. Like that. They be holding it. You know how the rappers do it? Let me see if I can. You know how the rappers do it? Let me see. They be holding it up to their ear like a rapper. They be taking your money and holding it up like that. And you talking about buy black. And I ain't getting on you, family. I'm just saying, let's keep it a buck. They be taking a picture with your money because you done bought a sweatsuit from them or you done bought a hat from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Buy black ain't no answer. Not today. Not today. We need to conscious up our mind first before we start talking about what we're going to do with the finances. We need to start consciousing up our mind. And so tonight's show, man, I'm fed up, man. I'm fed up. Man, we look at these fake people. I don't want to name drop because it ain't about them. But we look at all of these people that's acting as if that they really, the 100 bands. Come on, Maclo. I want to be serious. The 100 bands. Run it up. Maclo, man, Maclo, stop, man. Maclo, no, he know I be laughing at that goofy stuff. I don't know how Maclo get in my head, but Maclo must know that I look at this stuff and be like,
Man, why is everybody holding money in the rap video? I mean, why is everybody? And somebody say it's Talib on this show. Family, I'm going to have to do a show to cover Talib. Talib canceled. He canceled and said he can't do the show. He didn't want to answer the questions. I mean, he said his team say he can't come on the show. You know what I mean? That's what he said. His team say he can't come on the show. So he ain't on the show. But what we're going to do is we're going to examine the conversation that he had. But family, I want you to work with me real quick. I want to show you why they are killing so-called black people, quote unquote. Real talk. I want to show you, family, and I want to start right now. Give me 1 second. Here we go. So first of all, family, I'm going to be about an hour. But I really want you to, if you can stick around for an hour, I really want you to stick around, and I want you to come into my world with me. You know what I'm saying? I think about this stuff all the time. I think about solutions. I think about practical solutions and all of that. But a brother reached out to me and said, man, we need to do a show. Why we killing you? Why are they killing us? Because they're killing us at an alarming rate. They're killing us at an alarming rate. But I want to share with you the psychology why. I hope you have an hour. That's right. Crypto was right again. I hope you have an hour so you can really walk this walk with me real quick. Because it's real serious that we get educated on this matter and try to do better. Big Shirley ain't helping us out here, and she ain't putting a dent into liberating our people. Not one dent. Not feeding people greasy pork chops or greasy pizza is not going to help. Is not going to help us in this situation. This situation is bad. This is bad. Where police can go and kill one of our brothers or sisters dead and don't worry about any repercussion from us. You hear what I just said? See, you look at the case where the one that put his knee on George Floyd, only repercussion he was worrying about is from his brother, the European judge. But they don't have no reason to fear any repercussion from us. This is what they do. Because I don't care how many 5 or 6 guns that the new Black Panther Party have. I don't care how many Bibles that the Hebrew Israelites have. I don't care how many fezzes that the Moors have. I don't care how many crosses. I don't care how many whatever anybody have. These Europeans do not care and do not fear you to do anything when they kill one of you. That's the fact. That's the fact of the matter. And if we ain't ready to face that fact, then we're going to be here for a long time. We're going to be here for a long time. They don't fear that you are going to stop spending your money. They know you're going to spend your money because you can't produce nothing. See, I'm going to talk to you like big brother now. Let me be your big brother. They don't fear that you're going to stop spending your money. You ain't got no garden to feed yourself. You ain't got no paper mill to make some toilet paper. You scared to go natural and use leaves. I'm telling you, I sit on a tree branch and wipe my butt with some dried grass. That means I'm ready for whatever. I'm ready for whatever, because this is just going too far. This is way too far, family. But I want y'all to walk with me, family. I want to share a few things with you. I want to share a few analytical concepts, things that I've analyzed. You feel what I'm saying? What's up, honey wheat? I want to share a few things with you. If you appreciate what I am doing, you always can support with a share You always, Mac Low, stop, man. Mac Low say, no, I need Scots. See what I'm saying? Mac Low spoiled, man. Mac Low ain't, Mac Low ain't using no dried up grass. But look, let me get into it, family. Let me show you, because I got a few things that I want to share with you on these slides. I want to share with some things that I hope you already know, but if you don't know, now you know. Since George Floyd's death last May, right? Family, walk with me. We're gonna get busy tonight. Since George Floyd's death last May, while in Minneapolis police custody, 181 quote unquote black people in the U.S. have been killed by the police. According to the data research group Mapping Police Violence, listen to these statistics. Of the 966 police killings reported since May 25th, 2020, the database shows that, quote unquote, black people account for 18.7%, despite making up 13% in the U.S. We only make up 13% in the U.S., but we 18.7% of feeling the wrath of this European, this police. And listen, according to the Census Bureau, police killings of quote unquote white victims make up 37% of the total deaths, with 37% of the total death, with quote unquote white Americans are 76.3% of the population, the Census Bureau said. They are 76%. We only 13% according to the census. And look at these numbers. Staggering. Staggering. That's crazy. They are killing us wholesale and don't have no fear of any response from us. Check this out. A brief history about policing. If you don't know, I just grabbed something I already know, but I just grabbed something off the internet that agrees with the research that I've done over the years. A brief history of slavery and the origins of American policing. And this is very important, family. Stick with me. The birth and development of the American police can be traced to a multitude of historical, legal, and political economic conditions. The institution of slavery, I'm going to say it one more time, the institution of slavery and the control of minorities, however, were two of the formidable historic features of American society shaping early policing. Stop there. Policing started and continues to perpetuate itself from the concept of slave holding. That's what you have to understand. As I get through this, you're going to understand the psychology. It perpetuates itself. And Darmisi, I believe we are more than 13% too. We've been 13% since 1982. I agree with you, Darmisi. Look, check this out. Slave patrols and night watches, which later became modern police departments. You see this? Slave patrols and night watches, which later became modern police departments, were both designed to control behaviors of minorities. Family, what you see today is no different from yesterday, and you need to wake up. You need to wake up. The only thing that changed is the concept of the game. The pieces just been moved around. The concepts just changed a little bit. They cloak it just a little bit so you don't understand what's really happening. But the same spirit of policing hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Check it out. For example, New England settlers appointed Indian constables to police Native Americans. You hear what this is? New England settlers appointed Indian constables to police Native Americans. Listen real quick. Somebody come from New England, get Indians, quote unquote, that's here, and get them to police themselves. For them. Y'all hear that? Let me calm down. New England settlers appointed Indian constables. In other words, the Indians was here. The New England settlers somehow convinced the Indians to police themselves, to keep themselves in line, so they can sit back and twiddle them thumbs and take all of the natural resources. Because that's what they was doing. They were shipping all the natural resources back to England, while they had the quote-unquote Indians keeping the other Indians in check. Ben Crump, Grandmaster Jay. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? This has nothing never changed. Nothing haven't changed. So the same concept exists until freedom. Black Lives Matter. You understand? Until freedom. Black Lives Matter. Big Shirley. These are symbolically the same Indians that New England European settlers appointed to police Native Americans. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Listen to what this says. The National Constable Association, 1995, the St. Louis Police were founded to protect residents from Native Americans. You hear this again? Listen to this. Listen again. The police department was founded to keep Europeans protected from Native Americans. Did you hear that? This hasn't changed today. It's the same thing that's happening. You need to wake up and understand what is taking place here. Remember, the name of this is why, the real reason why the police kill quote unquote black people. Now you're going to have to follow me. You're going to have to follow me, family, so you can see this out your window. So you can see this out your back door. So you can see this when they play it on the news, because this is playing out. It's only a new era of time now. It's the same situation. Check it out. In 1704, the colony of Carolina developed the nation's first slave patrol. 1704. Slave patrols helped to maintain, listen, of all things, the economic order and to assist wealthy landowners in recovering and punishing slaves who essentially was considered property. Let's translate this into 2020. The colony of Carolina developed the nation's first slave patrol. Slave patrols helped to maintain the economic order and to assist the wealthy landowners in recovering and punishing slaves who were essentially considered property. What you see being happening is the police department is expressing this very energy, this very spirit, punishing what they consider a slave. They don't see you other than a slave. They might call you something else, but this is how they see you. This is how it's like one that abuses animals. They see you as an animal. It's all good. I'm going to get to that. What you think that's going to help. I'm going to get to that. But let's get to this so we can see how the birth of policing hasn't changed. It only changed its methodology just a little bit. Now listen, policing was not only a social institution enmeshed in slavery. Slavery was fully institutionalized in the American economic and legal order. Listen, it's the same things today. That's right. Somebody said, does this apply to black cops? Absolutely. I just read that the New England settlers appointed Indian constables to police Native Americans. That's what they do to police that look like us. They employ them And they're not going to break their rank. They take an oath not to break that rank. So the same thing in 1704 or 1800s, when the constables of New England, when the New England settlers appointed Indian constables to police Native Americans, it's the same thing when they hire someone that look like us to police us. It's nothing changes. They take an oath. They either going to break that oath or they're going to break your back or bust that gun. I ain't no three ways about this. Now check this out. Policing was not only a social institution in domestic slavery. Slavery was fully institutionalized in American economic and legal order, and the laws being enacted on both state and national divisions of government. Virginia, for example, enacted more than 130 slave statutes between 1689 and 1865. But you have to understand that a lot of these statutes that was enacted, they have now been codified. This is why so many police walk, because the same laws or statutes have been codified in modern terms. What you don't understand, and you shouldn't be worrying about how they're trying to cover a law so you don't understand, so one can escape justice. You shouldn't have to worry about that. You should be raising your children, enjoying your life on this side of heaven. But guess what? We're to the point now where we need to be worrying about it. We need to look at the laws that codify that allow these things happen. Laws allow these things to happen. Listen to what I'm saying. Laws allow these things to happen. They're codified laws that allow these things to happen. We're too busy. Listen, we don't have no representatives for us. That's number one. We don't have no representative for us. So therefore, we don't have nobody breaking this stuff down to us, nor do we have anybody that looking into it and finding the laws that have this stuff codified for people to get away with. We get people like Ben Crump, you know what I mean? He's chasing a bag. You get people like Grandmaster Jay. He's a great distraction. You know what I'm saying? You get these little cluster of groups acting as if that they are about to do something, but they can't put a dent into this fight. It's crazy. It's crazy. So here we go. Walk with me real quick, family. So listen, when you look right here, from times when they was freeing what they say slaves, or slaves was running to free territory, this said Northern Hospitality, New York, 9-month law. The slave steps out of a slave state and his chains fall. A free state with another chain stands ready to re-enslave him. Listen to what this say. I want you to listen closely. This says, now this is the 1700s or the 1800s. The slave steps out of the slave state. Think about this. Think about this, your state of mind. The slave steps out of his slave state, and I'm going to add of mind, and his chains fall. A free state with another chain stands ready to enslave him. So here we go. A person steps out of their slave state of mind. The next thing you know, they're addicted to substance. Another chain is ready to enslave them. A person is ready to wake up to see reality and see the world for what it is. However, they got a job that they have to make sure that they maintain punching that clock, because missing one day, they fear that they won't be able to pay their rent, their mortgage, or their car note. So they jump out of one chain into another. See, me, I don't have that problem. I depend on the universe and the universe only. And I call it the universal creator of law, but it's the universe yet and still. But most people jump out of one chain of slavery into another. One chain of slavery into another. And slavery just means you have no power over your own self. You got to do what you got to do, or you will suffer for not doing that which you have to do involuntarily. Many times we go to jobs involuntarily. We don't have a choice. It seems like we volunteered. It seems like it's our ability and solely our ability. But in fact, if we don't go, the fear of the suffering that comes with not going to that job, as if there's not million other opportunities out here that we can create for ourselves, we get stuck in that box right there. You feel what I'm saying? That's slavery. So the slave steps out of one slave state, and I'm going to add state of mind, and his chains fall. A free state with another chain stands ready to enslave him. That could be rap music for our young children. That could be twerking for our young sisters. That could be people putting the money up to their head trying to entice our young children. You understand what I'm saying? Another slave state is waiting. That could be video games. It could be a whole host of things. When you step out of one thing, you're ready to jump back into another to enslave yourself again. Listen. This has everything to do with the conversation of why the police kill us. Why the police kill us. You follow me? Why the police kill us. And you're going to see why. The police hasn't changed since regular citizens of European persuasion had to get a hunting license. You see that? That's an official hunting license to hunt you and I. And that hunting has not changed. And if you think so, you're sadly mistaken. All of that crying, no justice, no peace, they don't care. They got a license for this. The laws allow them to do this. Even this hunting license have been codified with a badge number. I know this might sound like propaganda, but it's not. Shout out to Jamal Cannon. Appreciate you, bro. I know it might sound like propaganda, but it's not. It's the fact of the matter. It's the fact of the matter. The hunting license of hunting us has only turned into a badge. I know you don't want to believe it. I know. You want to hope. Could it be corrected? I don't know. But ain't nothing changed since this. They took a slave patroller's oath the same way that they take a new oath now to become a police officer. And here it is back in the day. I, patroller's name, do swear that I will as a searcher for guns, swords, and other weapons among slaves in my district. Faithfully. This is why they want to check your car. Nothing has changed, man. Nothing changed, sis. Faithfully and as privately as I can. This is why they want you to give up your rights when they say, can we search your vehicle? If you ain't got nothing in your vehicle, you need to say no. You need to say no. Faithfully and privately as I can, discharge the trust reposed on me as the law directs to the best of my power. Listen to the wording. To the best of my power. This is why somebody could turn out a taser and say, oh, pull out a gun and say, oh, I thought it was a taser. To the best of my power. So help me God. But what God are they talking about? See, this stuff is happening today. This is why I think this show is so important. Because I want you to see yesterday through today's eyes. So we can do something. The American South relied on almost exclusively slave labor, and quote unquote white Southerners live in near constant fear of slave rebellion, disrupting this economic status quo. Again, the moment that you change your state of mind, you will disrupt the economic status quo. Prophet Noble Drew makes a statement that the problems today are largely economic. The moment that you come together, you will disrupt the economic status quo. because you will find out that you're being pimped, that you will find out that you're being played, that you will find out that everything that you are consuming, you can produce for yourself. Real talk. Real talk. So slavery is happening right now. It's only codified. I want you to see it every time you wake up so you can do something about it. Every time you go out, you should see slavery in 2021 so you can wake up. The more people wake up, the more people become activated. And if you don't become activated on the ground 10 feet, 10 toes down, then it'll be your children because your energy will flow through them. And that doesn't matter if you're European or Asiatic, so-called black, so-called white. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, something going to have to give. But you got to wake up. Listen to this. As a result of these patrols, were on the earliest and most prolific forms of early policing in the South. The responsibilities of patrols were straightforward: to control the movements and the behaviors of enslaved populations. This is what all this killing is about. To control the movements, not the physical movement, the movement of the mind. Keep the fear in your mind. Keep the fear at the tip of your mind at all times. See, yesterday it was controlling the physical movements. Today it's controlling the mental movements. You know, you got 6 protons, neutrons, and electrons. Your brain is always sparking. Thoughts are always rushing in. The energy of your mind is always sparking. Somebody is constantly working to dampen that spark, to dampen that light. So yesterday, what was done physically is now done on a more esoteric, ritualistic level that you, if you're not careful, you won't even notice it happening. You won't even see it's happening. And your children, you will sell your children to this controlled movements and behavior. You will sell your children unknowing to you, thinking that you're being a good parent. And you will sell your children to this. Yeah, all of us have contributed to these things. I mean, now, next time, say, what is discussing our business in public going to do? Next time, if you didn't sign up for Alliance for Political Accountability, or if you ain't trying to move with an organized group, you ain't saying nothing slick. So go on to another channel. What discussing our business in public going to do? Because the business of the killing happened in public. That's why. And I want as much people to know that it's time for us to do something and take action. If you wish to take action, you can email it me at taharkabay@yahoo.com. And what I'm telling right now ain't nothing. We got a bigger plan than this. So the slaves' patrol was to chase down, apprehend, and return their owners, runaways, slaves. That's what they're doing now. The killing of us is the chasing down, apprehending. We're talking about the mind now. See, this generation today is right at the crossroad of freeing themselves mentally. No matter how much killing they do, no matter how much red and blue hair you see, no matter how much twerking you see, this generation here is right at the brink. This is why they send the Grandmaster Jay in Louisville when that young generation was ready to tear it up for real. So when Grandmaster Jay comes in, the distraction comes in. And now those young generation that would have been vigilantes, those that would have been guerrilla warfare type of brothers and sisters, now they done turned their eye to look at Grandmaster Jay. Look at that. Look at that show. Look at that show. Everybody turned to watch the show, the Grandmaster Jay. And it calmed down the younger generation. They know this generation ready to rock and roll. They know. So they send Grandmaster Jay. They send all of these Until Freedom. They send Black Lives Matter as a distraction. You feel me? To do what? To do what they did back in the day. To do what they did back in the day. To chase down, apprehend, and return their owners, runaway slaves. If you try to free your mind, they will kill one to enforce the fear. And they will have a group responding, led by a paid one. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And then everybody will go into the mob ritual, the mob mentality, and everybody will scream, no justice, no peace. There will be no comprehensive solution. There will be no practical roadmap to get to the solution until the next one happens. And all of it is about psychological warfare. That's what it's all about. And as I get to this, I'm going to prove to you why they kill us wholesale, as if you catch it on, you should be catching. Also, the slave catcher of the 1800s to provide a form of organized terror to deter slave revolts. As I said before, they don't want you to break away from your dependence of this system. Not the system, but the system while they're in control. See, you can take the system if you wake up, but they don't want you to pluck your way out one by one out of the system and waking up, because you might wake up a few other people. So the slave catchers of the 1800s, they had to provide a form of organized terror to deter slave revolts. They need you to stay thinking that you need them or the system with them in charge. That's what they need you to think. They need you to think that you can't learn to bake bread again, so you just go buy a loaf of bread. They need you to think that you don't know how to purify water. They need you to think that you can't create a job. You have to go and find a job. They need you to think that. They need you to think that you need anything that they can provide for you because you can't provide for yourself. They need you to think like an infant in an adult body. And each one that thinks like an infant in an adult body, you know and I know that if you put a room full of infants together, they're going to be all over the place. There will be no unity. There will be no unity. And when I'm talking about unity, I'm not talking about togetherness. There will be no oneness of mind, because we or our people move as babies in the mind. We're too dependent. We depended on somebody to help us up like a baby. We depended on somebody to chew the heavy food up and grind it up like a baby. We depended on. And if we can't feed ourselves, we depended on somebody to feed us. I'm trying to tell you. That's what it is. And until we realize that we work, if we work, we don't work for somebody, we work with somebody. Like if you work for a company, you're working with the company, not for the company. You got to change that mentality. You got to change that mentality. I work with you. I don't work for you. I work with you. Because without you, the company cannot live. Without the worker, the company can't survive. It's a reciprocal relationship. A job is reciprocal. But you go in thinking they need you. And they need you to continue to think like that, because the more you think like that, you can't break away. And you're going to teach your children to do the same thing. And them children going to teach the next children to do the exact same thing. They need to maintain a form of discipline for slave workers who were subject to summary justice outside the law. This happened today. Summary justice referred to informal court proceedings in which sentences are handed down without a hearing or a jury. Isn't that what happened when they kill us? This was literal. If you just tuning in, what I'm talking about, slave patrols of the 1800s, of the 17 and the 1800s. These were the laws of the slave patrol. These are the same things that are happening today. These are the same thing that's happening today. Summary justice happened today. It happens today. That they decide that, okay, enough is enough. Time for you to go. Bang. You ain't gonna get out the car. Bang. Notice they don't have summary justice with those of European persuasion. You don't see that. They be running around with a knife. You don't see that. Because these laws was made for slaves. And they see us as slaves, even till today, whether you like it or not. And those who are looking like us and work for those type of organizations, they have been trained, and I've used the word confidently, they have been trained to see you in the same way. Nothing has changed. I know y'all gonna be like, man, where we going with this? Walk with me. I'm going to show you why the real reason why they kill us the way they do. You follow what I'm saying? First of all, again, we super goofy. We have so much propaganda and distractions, it's ridiculous. This is what our children are looking up to now. You follow me? This is what our children are looking up to now. What goofball thought that it was okay to just hold money to their ear? You see, you even got silly Brother Polite doing this goofy stuff. Anybody know that any money that you can hold ain't no money at all? I ain't got no bread, but I got enough that I can hold. Any money that you can hold ain't no money at all. That's what you need to teach your children. Real money is resources. Real money is crude oil. Real money is diamonds. Real money is natural resources. Anything that you can hold in your hand or your pocket ain't no money. This is goofy. This is a distraction. And somebody made the first goofy rapper to do something like this. Because every rapper doing it, I can't believe that all of these rappers are that dumb and that goofy. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. But this is some of the goofiest stuff I've ever seen. And our children looking at that, looking up to this, like this some real money. Like this is some legitimate finance. How goofy is this? And many people will be scared to speak out about this because they don't want to argue with their children. They don't want to put themselves out there. Like, yeah, somebody said, ew, look at Waka Flocka. He chewing dirty money. And then that money that passed everybody's hand, but he doing it for show. This is goofy. But this is what our children look up to. And these powers that be know how goofy we are. As we be this goofy, there is no way that we can come together with a formidable plan to come up out of this situation. Understand that. They know this. As long as this is the leaders in our community, as long as these are the influential people in our community, there is no way we can come out of this situation. There is no way. As long as this is what our community look like. This is what our leaders look like. This is what our influence look like. There is no way we're coming out this situation. No way. You can forget about it. You can forget about it. Somebody said we need a code. No, what we need to is we need to join an organized group with a plan that's going to pull us up out this, and we need to show up. That's what we need. We don't need to talk about no code. The code is join an organized effort and show up. Join an organized effort and show up. That's all you need. We keep talking about this code. What is the code? No, we need to be organized. As I go down on these slides, I'm going to show you what organization look like. We need to organize. I need to see your face. I need to shake your hand. Somebody like me that has the same goal in mind need to see you and shake your hand. They need to hug your children. And then we need to have some trust building going on. We need to have a plan. And those who are not a part of the plan, we need to say, we see you later. The code ain't got to be aired. The code ain't got to be talking about. We need an organized effort. We need everyone to join an organized effort. And if that effort seems a little bit shabby, if they sitting around looking at the next sister with the big buns or the breasts hanging up, get away from that. That's confusion. If you join something for liberation and the first thing you see somebody say, man, look at her, man, she fat. Woo! Nah, leave that alone. If you join an organized effort and after you go and walk the streets, you sitting there on the corner popping a beer, nah. You rolling up a blunt, y'all passing a blunt around and you supposed to be liberation fighters? Nah. This ain't no hit at no shot or smacking the head at my blunt smokers. I'm just saying. If you want to smoke blunts, don't be on the front line. Help finance the endeavor. But we don't need nobody high on the front line knocking on doors telling people to join the effort. We don't need none of that. We need competent people now. We need competency. That's what we need. And we shouldn't accept anything less than the best. If I make a call and I say the website is up, we need people from every city to prepare themselves within a 3-month time frame so we can execute to have a real conversation. How many people going to show up? How many people going to walk out their door and take their baby? Because see, we ain't talking about that goofy stuff. Goddamn white man killed this. How many people going to walk their baby out the door with their wife or with their girlfriend and knock on doors and say, listen, we in this district right here. We trying to organize so we can get our district right. Can you sign this petition? Can I get your email? Can I get your number so I can give you a blast text? How many people going to do that? Or everybody just enjoying the show? You follow me? We need to get organized. We need to go knock on doors like politicians do. We need to go meet the people in the face. You follow me? We need to meet the people in the face. Shout out to AJ Fraser. I'm hoping to have him on the show soon, where this brother went and rescued, him and his crew, went and rescued a young sister who was sex trafficked. He didn't air it out. He didn't run around like Grandmaster Jay, letting everybody know his move. After the fact, he told everybody it was a success. rightfully so. And hopefully we can bring him on the show and talk about it. But he ain't all in front of video. Come on, man. We got to stop this. We got to do better, family. We got to do better. And we will do better. Let's talk about it real quick. When you look at Grandmaster Jay, do you really think that this was a freedom endeavor? This was no freedom endeavor. Now, people that was in that crowd definitely had hopes for freedom and were true freedom fighters. But Grandmaster Jay was not and is not into freedom fighting. He's in for show. He's in for show. Bottom line, he's in for show. And until we acknowledge that, we don't know what freedom look like no more. That's why we can't even find the fake. We don't even know what fighting for freedom look like no more. That's why we can't discover who's fake, who's real, who's fake. We don't know what it look like. So many people would say to you, well, you just talking on a blog and okay, think what you want. Keep on thinking that. Think what you want. I don't care. Do what you want. But those that know me know what I'm about. These are nothing but slogans of distractions. I want you to tell you that. This is why these slogans are so slick. You understand? They're slogans of distraction. I want you to understand, whenever somebody come up with a slick slogan or a title of an organization that resembles a slogan, it's almost guaranteed that this is an op organization, and these are slogans for distractions. So when somebody comes out, no justice, no peace, everybody turns. That's something everybody can ride that rhythm. Listen, these Europeans know we rhythmic people. No justice, no peace. When we want justice, and we don't get it, no peace. Until freedom. Until freedom what? You're going to keep marching until freedom? You're going to keep screaming no justice, no peace until freedom? These are slogans of distractions. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Again, slogans of distractions. Whenever you hear organizations that sound like a slogan, you almost can bet your last dollar that they're slogans of distractions, just to distract the people. Something that can draw the crowd into a direction. If they enter a crowd with 20 or 30 people yelling the same thing, Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace, the crowd begin to turn that way. And it becomes the mob mentality. See, this type of rhythm, you know what I mean, goes up the spinal cord. You follow me? And people can feel this stuff. You may know from sitting in your living room that, man, this stuff is corny. But if you are in the energy of someone screaming that and you are unconscious, it goes up your spinal cord like a good song. No different than in church. No different in church. When the pastor start jumping around and the people start jumping around, some people think that's fake. It's not fake. They feel the rhythm going up their spine. They feel the notes, the sound, or the harmonic tone or the harmonic balance of the pastor. And they feel it. No different when you hear a rap song, no different. It's the same science. But we have been removed from understanding how these things have an effect on us. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. That's right. Head honcho say the frequency. Absolutely. These Europeans know that. I wouldn't be surprised if Europeans made up these sayings and gave it to these ops in order to attract the people in the direction of the crowd during these unfortunate situations where these op groups show up. I'm telling you, this stuff ain't a game. We so behind sometimes. Now, with that being said, when your children are young, they have already going to be indoctrinated, whether you know it or not. So what I did was I quickly just Googled or Binged beauty. You see what comes up? This is a testament of the psychology that your child will be facing. This is a testament of the hate that your child will begin to experience on themselves, because beauty here doesn't look like them. Just Google beauty. So ultimately, let me tell you, this is a double-edged sword. Ultimately, your child won't see themselves as beautiful, because even if you Google beauty, this is what comes up. The majority is of a European phenotype, but it works both ways. The European, as a child, begins to believe in his or her superiority over her Asiatic or so-called black counterpart. So even before the police officer, man or woman, even before they think about being a police, they're already being indoctrinated that they are better than you before they even know. And our children, if we're not careful, are already being indoctrinated that we are less than. That we are less than. From the beginning, anybody take time, Google beauty, Google pretty, Google ugly, and you'll see that is the measuring stick of society that we live in. That's the measuring stick of society that we live in. I Googled ugly. Notice it's all different sorts of variations of what they were called ugly. But let me tell you something. More of these people are of the Asiatic, or what people would like to call ethnic people, that they have classified as ugly. Now, I know people are making faces and all that, but even with the one that I have in the middle circle that resembles a tribesman, they got that as ugly. They got a monkey as ugly. They got ethnic people that live an alternative lifestyle outside of Western type of living. They got this as ugly. But when you look at they don't have nothing remotely close to what they call a pretty European. Nothing remotely close. You don't see no blonde hair. You don't see nothing. You don't see nothing remotely close. So what does that mean? That means that the psychology of society is already working against you, whether you know it or not. Let me show you something real quick. The psychology of society is already working against you, whether you know it or not. When we're laughing at Peppa Pig got an English accent. These are the characters. And I laugh at Peppa Pig too. These are the characters. These are the characters that our children will be entertained by if we allow it. And nothing wrong with being entertained. But how much entertainment do we get by one who doesn't have our best interests at heart? I like Peppa Pig, but I got to make a point. These will become the heroes of your children, starting with Peppa Pig. So the psychology starts real young, so your children can think less of themselves. And the European can think less of you. This is why he can kill you at wholesale, because he doesn't see a value in you from a long time ago. From the time that the European was a child and became a police, they never saw the value in you. They seen the value in with something that looks like them, because this is how society is constructed right now. This is how society is constructed. Even when you look at Blue's Clues, they try to put an ethnic brother in there. However, it doesn't really fit the bill as it relates to the psychology that's needed to build confidence in the quote unquote Black community. This is why they can kill you wholesale. I know my Asian brothers and sisters, I will be cheering on the guy that's acting in Blue's Clues and been on Broadway. I did the research on him. You know what I'm saying? He went against all odds, and I salute his name, Josh, on Blue's Clues. But I salute him because he went against all odds, and he's very talented. But the point that I'm making is that society makes up the scenario for our people to automatically consider themselves second class in every endeavor of life. Whether you know it or not, whether you are conscious of it or not, the soul understands this. And the soul is digesting the information that it's second to another group. And the European is digested it that they are above you, that they are superior than you, even if it goes to the level of making a voice in a cartoon. Where are you? Where are you in the arts? Huh? Making songs like WAP. That's what you're doing? The most popular cartoons are not made by you. The most popular cartoons are not made by you. Where are you? You follow me? So that does a psychological breakdown for children even before they know what's happening. And it psychologically builds up Europeans because they're being misled too. And they don't know what's happening. This is why they can grow up. This is why they can grow up and be police and kill wholesale, because it's already been embedded that you're less than. Real talk. It's already been embedded that you're less than. So they can kill you with no conscience. Even from back in the day, when I used to watch cartoons with the Flintstones, I didn't realize until I got older that I was being indoctrinated that the Europeans, that the beginning of humanity or mankind started with cavemen, and these cavemen and women was represented in a cartoon sketch called the Flintstones. Now, when you watch the Flintstones, they had all modern trappings from a Stone Age perspective, as if they designed it. They tamed a dinosaur. They used dinosaurs for cranes. They did this. Now you might think this goofy, but in a child's mind, they don't see themselves. They don't see themselves. They see this as the beginning of humanity being replicated in a cartoon. They got a stereo plan with where they then trained a bird to put his beak on the stereo to play the music. This is happening like in the Garden of Eden. It said they give him power, power over the land, power over the fish, power over this, power over that. You follow me? They're so strong they can pick up their car with brick carved wheels and run with it. But you never see yourself. Now, for you, you might say, man, that's just a cartoon. No, it's the psychological game that's being played on the viewer. So the European watch it and see his dominance. You that are considered black watch it and see your subservient because you don't even see that you're subservient because you don't even see it. And so someone say Bill Cosby with Fat Albert cartoon was successful. Yes, but when overpowered by these images, one after another, that success is not too good. That success of the Cosby Kids cannot compete with the flooding of these images. It cannot compete. It becomes entertaining, but it can't compete. That the Jetsons was the end. So the Flintstones becomes the alpha. The Jetsons become the omega. And your children don't see themselves nowhere in between. They don't see themselves nowhere in between. The Europeans see themselves, so their children become confident. This is why their children become tech savvy, because they had Rosa, the maid up in there from a what you call it, a robot. They become the tech savvy. You know, they look at little Elroy. Little Elroy was supposed to be one of these little bright little children. You feel me? They look at the sister. She was supposed to be the dizzy one, but she never went too far out. So now you got the Flintstone as the alpha and the Jetson as the omega, and your children watch this in my generation and never ever see themselves. They never see themselves. Now, again, this is just an example of how, when one grows up like this, how they can look at one of us and have no compassion. The compassion have been stripped away from conditioning. Let me pull this up. The passion or compassion had been stripped away from conditioning as a child. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. This is why the system has to be changed. The police have already conditioned before they grab the badge. You understand that? The police have been conditioned before they grab the badge, before they grab the gun. Their mind has already been prepared. All somebody have to do is pull the kill switch. And whether it's me, whether it was you, you know what I'm saying? All someone have to do is resist, because you already been seasoned. I mean, their mind has already been seasoned that you're worthless. And many of us don't think on our toes because our mind has been seasoned that our life is worthless. So we don't think on our toes. We don't think to live to fight another day. We don't think, okay, you got this one. You got this one. I get you on the back end. We don't think like that. But in these police killings are so different, though. I mean, these police killings are different. They have already made up their mind. Listen, in conjunction with police being raised in a society where they see themselves as superior and better, it's compounded with their training. If you ever see police training video, I should have pulled one up. If you ever see police training video, they are not trained to shoot at your feet and at your toes. They are trained to shoot at the mass. That's what they train to shoot at. You have to understand that. The psychology and the conditioning have already prepared them to shoot at the mass at the drop of a pencil. So when they aim, they're not shooting at your toes. They haven't been trained to do that. The conditioning of the mind allows them to pull out quick. The training, where to shoot, is in effect whenever they go. When they hold somebody down, like George Floyd, that is training. They might don't want to admit it. That is training. They are trained to subdue anybody who seems to be a threat, but the threat of their interpretation. They get to make the call. That is what we talked about earlier, summary judgment. They get to make the call. Now, hold on one second. I hope y'all enjoying this, family, because I really wanted to do this. I don't care if 3 people watch this tonight, man, but I got to put this out on the airways, family. This is crazy. But as your children was younger in my generation, these was the images. And in our mind, we didn't know that they was playing a game with us. We didn't know, but in our soul, we knew. In our soul, we knew. The soul wraps itself around any ideal that you allow yourself to take in and to be entertained by or to be educated by. So the soul works in dualities. You know what I mean? The soul, if you put good stuff into your heart and into your mind, the soul, i.e. the soul, then it's going to propel you into that goodness, as we call karma. It's going to propel you into that. It's going to push you into that. If you put ignorance and foolishness in that, then it's going to push you into that direction, into that direction. It's like whatever you put into your heart and your mind and whatever you digest, that's what you become. It's like the soul is the soul is like water. Whatever you put in it, it will take that shape. Whatever you put the water in, if you put water in, let me move this out the way. If you put water in a cup like this, it'll take this shape. If you put water in this kombucha, it'll take that shape. Well, that's how the soul does with information. It takes on the shape of the information puts in, whether you know it or not. It takes on that shape. And so if you put information that determines that this is an inferior group of people, the soul takes that on. You understand what I'm saying? And when the soul takes that on, it must come to the surface. So this is why people don't understand the Jesus story about the baptism and all that. You have to cleanse yourself from this stuff. And you have to be born again. And I know you might say born again. No, don't take the pastor concepts of born again. You have to become anew. Hence anew. You have to become new. You have to empty your cup. And then you have to be aware as to what you put in your heart and mind. This is why so many people fall for Grandmaster Jay, because they're not paying attention and they're not critical thinkers. This is why they fall for it. In the beginning, many people got in it because they was emotional and they was tired of the police brutality. They were tired of the oppressive situation. And many people got out because they're critical thinkers. But those who are still following it, they are not critical thinkers. I'm sorry. I got to tell it the way it is. And that comes from what you have allowed your soul to digest. That's right. Remember and reprogram. Feel me? So, with that being said, I'm gonna roll with you, fam. We got about 30 more minutes, right? These are some of the popular cartoons. The popular shows on Nickelodeon. If anybody have children, you know that Nickelodeon always had popular TV shows for teenagers. And if you notice, it was always a disproportionate of our face. And when they put our face on there were always some type of soft, some type of feminine, or just trying to get along, just trying to be one of the guys. They always did that. They never had a representation of us as we are in our true self. They always had one to dumb down, to slow down. And this is what our children would watch as teenagers. And you know what that teaches them? You know what that teaches them? That when I get around Europeans, I must put on a show. I must become that. Now listen to what I'm saying. Your children is learning this while you thinking they're being entertained. You think they're just enjoying the show. No, 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 no. They are becoming the docile male, or they are becoming the quirky female. Because normally the little European girls are real quirky, a little bit annoying. So now those who have a little bit money and a little bit time on their hand, or they got to work a lot and their children watching this stuff, these are the attributes they begin to take on. You follow what I'm saying? So remember, the show is about why do police, the real reason why police kill us. The real reason is to keep us in check. But you have to know that they have been conditioned from children, from babies up. They've been conditioned. They've been conditioned. Somebody said the Boondocks is the bomb. Yes, but with this trailer load of stuff like this, it can't compete. Whether it's Sinbad being goofy on this show, whether it's Master P playing the fool by halves with the little Romeo show, you know, and we love our brother's Master P, man, honor to him for his success. But let me tell you something. All of this is a part of the game of the conditioning of the mind. Not only is it a condition of what we call black people, but this condition of what we call white people too. They have to, listen, the power structure have to teach Europeans that they better than you because they got to keep confusion going. So the worker European have to feel that you're less than them, no matter how much they smile and joke around. They got to feel like that. Now, you do got a small percentage could care less. I mean, you do got some that could care less. But those that are in competition, they get that competition from, I'm talking about the black-white dynamic competition. They get that competition from a baby. They grow up with that. They grow up with that competition, that I'm better than you because I'm quote unquote white. I mean, that comes from a young age. You follow me? And ultimately, these are the TV shows that you're going to get in 2020. And these are the images that your preteens or your teens will be watching. I ain't going to give them no shout out, so I ain't naming nothing. And now, this is the worldview of your women. The most popular song last year was WAP. This is the worldview. How can someone respect you? How can any group of people respect you? This is the worldview of so-called black women. Reason why this is the worldview is because this is what people see around the world. Around the world, this is a representation of women in America of African descent, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. This was one of the most popular songs. You even had old European, nasty Europeans was making jokes about this song. That's right. Nas X too. I should have got a slide of Nas X, but I didn't. Anyway, this is the image of our brothers in America from a world view. This it. This it. This is the image. This is the image that the world see when they think about that. Now do you think that any civilized people will come to the defense of a people like this? That we got to be honest. What civilized people on the planet Earth is that all they see is this when they turn on their TV and they gonna come to the defense? They gonna put some money behind this? Come on. Look at this. These are the images that go across the airwaves daily. Daily. They go across the airwaves daily. And we might be entertained by it. They might be entertained by it. But the power structures that pay for this to go out know what they're doing. And the unsuspecting public around the world is going to stay away from this. They're going to stay away from this. So when we look at that, our next great, I love me some LeBron, but this is the greatness of LeBron, the greatness of us, rapping, trapping, balling. But now look at the most successful game creators of all time. You see this? We play games, but look at the most successful game creators of all time. In fact, I think it's important that I share this another way, because I'm going to show you why they kill us wholesale. All of this has to do with my point. You know what I'm saying? All of this has to do with my point. All of this has to do with my point. I'm going to show you why they kill us wholesale. But let's look at the top game creators. Look what they look like. Let's see what they look like. Hold up. My bad. Let's see what they look like. The most successful game creators. Look at this. There they go. Look what they look like. Masao Matsuura. That's right. We play these games. Yeah, that's our brother right there. I mean, don't count him out. David Jones. Horinobi. That's fam. Look at this. Look at this. You see this? We play the games. Google it yourself, but we play the games. That should be a problem. That should be a problem. That when we look at the movers and shakers of the world, we do not have a place on the map. Oh, we just getting turned up. Hold up, fam. Let me get back into I got to get back into my bag. When we look at this is why they kill us. They don't see no value in us. Because the moment that you say you go, no justice, no peace, they don't believe that. They don't believe that. So, look at the cars. Toyota, produced by Japan. Volkswagen, Germany. Hyundai, South Korea. General Motors, United States. Ford, United States. Nissan, Japan. Honda, Japan. FCA, Italy. Renault, France. Group PSA, France. Suzuki, Japan. Show me where black built something at. Show me. They don't see no value. I know this part going to hurt you. I know it's going to get mad. I know you're going to get mad. Show me where black, and I'm not attacking black, but I want you to show me where black built something at. They don't see no value in you. They don't see no value. Listen, I know you might think because I'm a Moor that I'm attack black, but no, I want to make a point. Show me where black is valuable. Show me. I already said rap music and entertainment. The top paid celebrities. All of them are entertainers. Follow me? Kanye West up in there. LeBron up in there. Tyler Perry, The Rock up in there. These are all entertainers. Kanye is kooky. The only one got a little bit sense is LeBron James and The Rock. I like Tyler Perry too. Let me stop. I like Tyler Perry. I just don't like the dress demonstration, but I like Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? But the point that I'm making is, just because we got some high-paid entertainers, the rest of us are not considered valuable. This is why they can kill us wholesale. When you look at our population, right? You can break this down to the smallest town, right? Each region, state, city, town, no matter where you find us at, we have no plan to agree on how to get out this situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? No matter where you find us at, we have no agreeable plan to get out of this situation of oppression and police killing. Can you press 1 if you agree with me? No matter where you find us, we have different ideas, but no matter where you find us, and any plan have not had an end game. No matter where you find us in the United States. No matter where you find us, you will not find one end game. Not with Until Freedom, not with Black Lives Matter, not with New Black Panther Party, not with the Moors, not with the Nation of Islam. You will not find one end game. You will hear them talk about this stuff, but you would never see nobody working towards an end game. We need an end game. See, they know you don't have no end game. You don't have no plan. Somebody say, show us whether more is valuable. You see where I'm at, don't you? I'm talking to you. I'm valuable right now, but I ain't get to that yet. The point that I'm making, family, is not to browbeat anybody. What I'm telling you, family, that it's time for us. It's time for us, those of you on Moorish World TV, to think about this tonight as we move forward into bringing a true plan into reality. Real talk. Let me tell you something. When the quote unquote Asian people started getting beat up, y'all remember those stories when the Asian people was getting beat up and all of that? Y'all remember that? And before you know it, before anything was dealt with by law enforcement, CNN ran a story with a campaign to help Asian Americans. They started giving advice on how to support Asian Americans. They started giving advice. Now, we have been experiencing these atrocities, let's just say 100 years. Nonstop. Now we know it's more than that, but let's just deal with 100 years. Nonstop. Jim Crow. Civil rights movement. the crack epidemic, mass police killings. That's all I'm saying. Let's just deal with that real quick. Jim Crow, civil rights movement bitten by dogs. Okay, somebody say AIDS, the crack epidemic, and now today they killing us wholesale by the police. Let's just deal with the 100 years. Do you know that in less than 6 months of Asian Americans being attacked, that they got a bill in Congress passed? Press one if y'all know that. Do y'all know that? Less than 6 months. They attribute it to the coronavirus. Now we know that the coronavirus only been here in America for a little over a year. In less than 6 months. Why? Why? Let's talk about why. Let's talk about why. It's very important that we know why, though. So CNN does a campaign. You have to remember that the FCC control what goes on the airwaves. So CNN becomes a marketing campaign. The same thing I told you about Dr. What's his name? Grandmaster Jay. When he was on MSNBC, that's marketing in order to prepare for the documentary that they shot during those times and all those marches. You follow me? But now, watch this. A marketing campaign to get everybody on board. So if you want to help Asian Americans, they say, stop racist remarks when you see or hear them. Now, they ain't never tell anybody to jump out and tell the police to put his gun down. Now, I don't do racist remarks. In fact, I don't have a horse in the race. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the most ignorant thing in the world, a grown person making racist comments. That's goofy. Or offensive racist comments. That's goofy. But the point that I'm making is they ran a campaign. If you see a friend joke about China virus or Kung Fu on social media, reach out and explain neither is funny or harmless. They do a campaign, but we need to know why. But we need to know why. Watch this. They went on and said that they gave more advice. Take a free bystander intervention course. They ain't got no intervention course for when the police ready to kill us in the street. Do y'all see this? This shows that there is no value in you by people like this. You see this? They value Asian Americans. They value Asian Americans. And I'm going to tell you why. See, this is the hard truth don't nobody want to talk about. They value Asian Americans. And they should. I consider Asian Americans our brothers and sisters. Maybe not you, but I do. I don't care how crazy they think. But I do. They ain't no Europeans. I bet that. They ain't no Europeans. You know what I mean? So I don't care how crazy they think. I don't care how they act all crazy. I get crazy with them, just like I get crazy with you. But at the end of the day, they Asiatics. At the end of the day. So they need to wake up too and fix their mind right too. But the point that I'm making is, for my point, is that they value what we call Asians, our people from the Far East. They don't value you. You know what I'm saying? Now watch this. Support your local Asian American businesses. Family, you and I know that we have been supporting our Asian American counterparts, brothers and sisters, whoever you choose to call businesses for the longest. Yeah, it was some stories that highlighted when Koreans got dealt with harshly in the hood. but for the most part, they have thriving businesses in our neighborhood. And many of us can appreciate some of these businesses because let's keep it a buck. Without some of these corner stores in our neighborhood, there wouldn't be nothing for grandma to go and get a slice of bread every now and then because you ain't been on your job. When mama ran out a slice of bread, she had to walk down there and get that because we ain't been on our job. So you gotta take the good with the bad, and you gotta appreciate. But the point that I'm making is this is propaganda at best. Support your local Asian American business. All that Chinese food we done ate. All that Chinese food we done ate. We had to figure out later in life that Chinese food in America, they don't even eat in China. That they made that joint in New York, Chinatown. But the point of what I'm saying here is that CNN is behind this propaganda. I'm not saying support or don't support. What I'm saying is I have no problem with Korean, Japanese, and man, I'm gonna tell you, I was born in the 70s, and all my brothers that was older than me came back from Vietnam. A third of them came back with a Vietnamese wife, and they was cool. So they was all right with me. They fit right in. So I don't be tripping. You know what I'm saying? That's right. They ain't act like no Europeans. I bet that. Some of us need to get around a little bit to know who our people is too. They don't act like no Europeans. You know what I mean? Some of the ones I done met. But I met some other Europeans too. But anyway, add a frame to your profile photo. This is what they put on there. This is what they put on there on Facebook. So remember, the name of the show is Why Do They Kill quote unquote black people? Let me show you why they kill those quote unquote black people. They don't value you. Within 6 months, you see the value of the Asian American. Nobody asking them to value. Let me be clear. Nobody is asking Europeans to value us. I'm trying to show you why it's so easy for them to kill us because they don't see value in us. And to do on a campaign like this, they see value. Donate to victims' families. You see, we don't see no campaigner like this. We don't see no campaign like this. Check this out. The Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund. They also value themselves. They got the Asian American Legal and Defense Education Fund. What you got is Ben Crump, Big Shirley, Grandmaster J, the NAACP, Al Sharpton. You see? That's a big difference. The Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund. You see that? You have the United College Negro College Fund. That's what you got. Economic justice for workers, immigrant rights, voting rights, and democracy. They're going to attack this thing politically. Voting rights and democracy. They legal defense got on that voting rights and democracy. That's a big difference than what we have. We don't even understand. We don't even understand the principle of voting. So we throw the baby out with the bathwater. We don't even understand the principle of politics. All these educated people in our community don't even understand the principle of politics. Or they do, and they choose not to guide people into constructive politics and voting and accountability. Sellouts. Here we go. Here we go. Less than 6 months of drama that they face. They get the Senate to pass a bill. Anti-Asian hate crimes. This proposal, what bill you get passed about this police stuff? This police stuff has been going on quite frequently lately. We ain't getting not one pass. We ain't getting nothing passed. How do they get something passed in less than 6 months? You know why? Because they got people to speak for those who can't speak for themselves, and they got an organized effort. They have an organized effort. Do we know the details? Of course we don't. But I will tell you what, this is the result of organization. The proposal will instruct the Justice Department to expedite the review of hate crimes related to COVID-19. Remember, COVID-19 only been around in America a little over a year. It also would give the state and local law enforcement more resources. They're going to get that bread. They're going to get that bread. They're going to give the law enforcement more resources. They're going to get that bread and track incidents and send guidance on how to root out discriminatory language used to describe the pandemic. They didn't put something together to root out discriminatory language. When in fact, everywhere you look, you hear the N-word. We discriminate against ourselves with this N-word in every rap song, every video. They done got something at the Senate level. Again, because they have people that see value in themselves, and the response of the Senate also see value. And the difference is that these people in Eastern Asia, they have something that what you called, not only do they have identity, but they have common ancestry that binds them together under one common ideal, whether it's in Vietnam or Indonesia or in Singapore or Cambodia or Malaysia. These people have a common ancestry that binds them together because they understand that they are one. And now, all of these, where you see these flags at, can all come together for the cause of everybody. Because they identify the oneness of Thailand as a country, as a flag. They identify themselves. They have common customs. They have common ideals. So now they can fight the fight together from an organized perspective. And they can unite with another group that also have those concepts. We don't have those concepts. Deal with it. When you look on the map, I'm not browbeating you, family. Under what ideal? Where is black? Where is Asia? Where is African? Where is indigenous? And I put that out there for a reason. I'm not browbeating you about the black thing. Don't take it that way. What I'm saying is that when I say where is Asian, you can look up Asia and people can unite around a common concept of Asia. You can look up Africa, and people can unite around a common concept of Africa. But here in America, you got African American. What is that? What common concept is that? Chicken? Rap music? I'm not browbeating you. I just want you to pay attention to me. I'm not browbeating you. These concepts do not allow our mind to flow as one. This is why I say organization is very important. Because if you want to be black, then be black. If you want to be indigenous, then be indigenous. If you want to call yourself a more Hebrew, be all that. But wrap your mind around an organized effort and become accountable. Wrap your mind around an organized effort and be accountable. What's the plan? The code is organization and a goal. That's the new code. All that silly stuff, we got to get on code. That's spaceship talk. We got to get on what code? What code? What code? We have to organize, look at the plan, and execute the plan. And most importantly, we got to show up. Because the Asians showed up. They showed up. When the so-called blacks show up, it's a march. Ain't no bills changing, ain't nothing. It's a march. We don't need to vote. When you look at these flags in Eastern Asia, what you're looking at is a bunch of power. You're looking at a bunch of power right there. These countries are power brokers. No matter how much the United States try to make you believe that they third world countries. These countries right here, they provide some of the best technology. They provide some of the best technical services. Yeah. They provide some of the most elaborate technical equipment, computers, phones. You understand what I'm saying? This is why when the attack on Asian Americans, quote unquote, it must be addressed immediately. Because these brothers and sisters of theirs at home can make something happen. Not only can they make something happen militarily, but they can make something happen economically. They can collapse this whole system of economics with a couple phone calls. They don't want you to believe that. But without these Eastern Asian countries, I don't know. Don't look good. With that being said, all of these countries right here of the Far East, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Burma, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam. Let's leave out Russia. Indonesia, East Timor, Cambodia, Brunei, Taiwan, South Korea, North Korea, Mongolia, Japan, Macau, Hong Kong, China, Vietnamese, and I probably left out a few, but the point I'm making is that they play a valuable role in the economic structure of the world. They got value. They got value. We consume, we have no leadership, no threat to any economy, and definitely no physical threat. Y'all understand that? We are consumers. And consumers are expendable. because we birth our children at an alarming rate and we teach them to be consumers. Consumers are expendable. We consume, but guess what? Another consumer is born every day because of out of our ignorance. We don't have no true leadership with no plan to execute, no threat to the economy, and definitely no physical threat. So those killings are to keep you in check. That's why they kill you. The real reason they kill you is to keep you in check. Don't think outside the box. Don't think unity. Think emotional. Always respond emotionally. Think you're going to grab a gun and walk down the street. Think you're going to scream at people and get something done. They need you to think emotional. I already put myself in third person. We need you to think emotional. They need you to think emotional. That's how they maintain power and control over you. You follow me? And they will sacrifice one of their own every now and then. And that's what happened with the police that killed. That's what happened with the police that killed George. And put his knee on his neck. They will sacrifice one every now and then. They will. To make a point that don't worry, little Negro slave. We hear your cry. We hear your cry. Now go back and sit down. We hear your cry. We hear your cry. And when they hear your cry one time, they ignore it 100 times. Do we really believe that this is a formidable answer to what we're facing? Is this a formidable answer to what we're facing? This look all nice. This cute. Is this a formidable answer to what we're facing? I didn't leave out the Moors. Is this a formidable answer to what we're facing? Or do we need to sit down and go to the drawing board and see how we can affect change on a whole nother level with checks and balances expeditiously? I think we need to go back to the drawing board and organize, execute, show up, and be responsible and accountable. And accountable. We need to be accountable to one another to get this done. You really believe that this going to respond, that this going to change something? Pretty bitches in suits and bow ties, fringes, thousands of marching down the street, ain't ready to go and do what got to be done to address anybody that has done something wrong or atrocious to our people. Well, if you ain't gonna do that, ain't no need to march no more. And I always went to the trek. But I don't think that this is a response. This is the Morris Trek in Philadelphia by my good brother A. Hopkins Bay. But this is going to be no response to what we face it. None of this stuff is no response to what we face. Black Lives Matter is no response to what we face it. This is no response to what we face it. How can this be a real response? Shout out to my brother AJ when he was with this group right here. But like I said, my brother AJ, he actually go and rescue people and he don't plaster it all over the place. But getting a blowhorn, yelling at people, cussing at people, man, threatening people that you better do this or we gonna do that, that ain't no response to what we facing. That stuff is played out. Stuff is played out. Running down the street with a bullhorn is played out. It's played out. It's yesterday's news. It's yesterday's news. It's goofy at best. No one takes you serious because you ain't going to do nothing but yell like a little child. That's all you're going to do. You're going to get a bullhorn and yell like a little child, like you're having a tantrum. Come on, pigs, pigs, the pigs try to, the pigs try to, the pigs, the white man, the pigs. You're going to have a tantrum like a little child. And they're going to do you just like you do with a little child. You just going to look at them like I do my 2-year-old. Okay, you finished? Come here, baby. And that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. They're going to watch you have your little tantrum until the next go around. Look at Big Shirley. Big Shirley get a check every time she show up, so she going to keep showing up chasing. I mean, somebody said this is how we unite. We have to unite with truth, and we have to unite behind a plan. We don't just say unite. We look for the plan. Or if someone say, I got the plan, sign up, register, take some time and listen to the plan. We unite behind a plan, not an individual. Not an individual. The individual must lay out the plan. See, listen. If those who joined NFAC would have told him to give them a 10-point plan upon submitting their registration, they would have ran because he had no plan. He was just talking. It's time that our people come to our people with a plan. Don't freestyle making it up as you go along. When you look at Tamika Mallory, she done gone Hollywood. She ain't being broke no more. She ain't being broke no more. Al Sharpton and put her in position. And if we don't do nothing, she is going to carry the energy of our people into another 20 years of purgatory foolishness. I'm telling you, Grandmaster Jay is done. But this sister here will carry our people around the desert for 20 years, circling the desert like the Hebrews. She's not taking our people out of this situation because she doesn't have a practical plan. Period. She doesn't have a practical plan. So with that being said, family, I will be introducing a plan if anybody want to know. Absolutely, I will. And I hope that y'all be around maybe a week from now or 2 weeks from now once we put the plan on. But you have to be accountable. Unless you're here to be entertained, waiting for my next Grandmaster J video, waiting for my next Big Shirley video. You know, the website is being made. We got a lot of stuff happening. You know what I mean? It is what it is, family. But let me say this. I appreciate y'all. I don't want this to go on too much longer. I don't want this to go on too much longer because it's been 2 hours and you know how long these videos can get. And I want people to really wrap their mind around this. My next show, we're going to have a talk show, a call-in show. You know what I mean? We're going to have a call-in show. And I want some ideas, family. No, it might not be my next show. I might gotta look at Brother Talib. Brother Talib jumped ship. We might gotta see why he jumped ship. Why he want to be with Antifa. You know what I mean? He want to fight with the Europeans. I think that's what he said. He don't mind. He said he'd take the European money and everything. Y'all hear that? He'll take the European money and everything. If they gonna give me money, I'm gonna take it. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that. Because there's nowhere in the world that if you are aligning yourself with a group that is already on some sort of watch list, and we all might be on a watch list, who knows? You know what I mean? But you're aligning yourself with a group like that, man. Don't take that money. That's blood money. Don't take no blood money. Find a way to raise money. Get some honest money. Find a way to buy your own land. If you can't buy your own land, wait. We don't need to run around looking, playing a part of a militia if we ain't there yet. We don't need to be running around acting like we something that we not. We need to train on 25 acres. Train on 25 acres and somebody watching your every move. Train on a European 25 acres. That's not liberation. It's not liberation. I mean, and so I that's a terrible misgiving for me. You know what I'm saying? Like build yourself up. Running around talking crazy. Find somebody to support you so you can purchase your own land. That's what I'm saying. Those are not valuable things for liberation. And just because people show up screaming Black Power with a gun, that don't mean that they for you. They don't mean that they for you. Some people just like to go out and do things on a Saturday. They go they honest, hardworking American citizens Monday through Fridays. But on Saturday, especially with this COVID, when you can throw on a mask and hide your face, they going out there, Black Power. Black Power. I hate the pigs. I hate the pigs. Sitting there making a pig coffee at work. Hey, Bob, would you like a cup? Nah, I'm good. Take one of them Newports, though. With that being said, family, thank you. Whoever hit the Cash App, I thank you in advance. If you haven't hit the Cash App, I thank you too. Share it. I thank you. Thumbs up. I thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending your 2 hours with me, because these 2 hours you could have been doing something else, but you chose to spend it with me. And on the next show, we're going to turn up on somebody or something.